Well, good morning guys, welcome back to the channel this morning. We got up about 4 o'clock this morning and came to check out some new spots here in the National Forest that we've never been today. Been a little bit of a rough morning, but it's a beautiful morning. Steam's coming off the ponds, the sun just rising up over the trees. Looks awesome. I'm gonna go check out some spots that I wanted to come to this year that I never got a chance to check it out. And it's been a little bit of a rough morning this morning. Had a little experience this morning that I hope nobody has to ever go through. I don't really want to talk about it right now, so I'd rather just go do what I love and get back in the woods. So that's what we're gonna do. So my birthday was a few weeks ago, and the wife asked me what I wanted for my birthday, and I told her I wanted to go scouting. Full day of scouting, unimpeded. I'm finally making good on that birthday scout. So I'm pretty jacked up. We got some stuff to see, and like I said, cover the details as we go. So right now I'm just ready to get out here. Let's go. Well, I'm getting pretty close to where I wanted to be. Been walking through a lot of big monotonous timber. A lot of giant cane just with some scattered oaks, a lot of palmettos. It's basically a bottom coming off of this bayou. But I finally get into a spot. I found a rub every now and then, but it's just so sparse. But I finally found a place where they can cross this creek, and we're right on the edge of the private. And there's actually a little bitty tiny strip of woods that connects these two blocks, and right in between the private. And there's two trails coming down here that cross right here. There's some tracks down here, and it's real shallow, and there's a nice embankment where they can go up and cross over there. So they can go out there and browse out in that field at night. So this might be a good evening spot or a good rut spot where they're crossing in between these two blocks of timber. So the only reason I came out here is for a pinch. In this part of Texas, when the land is so flat and monotonous that you try to find something with a pinch. To me, that's the highest value. There are other things that make sense to look for, whether it's fresh sign, rubs, old scrapes, or tracks, but a pinch is the most valuable thing in this part of Texas. You have to have something because the trails are so faint, or they're hog trails or other type of game trails. So this is a pretty good sign right here. I can imagine how thick this is in the early season, so keep going. We're almost to the spot. I'm hoping when we get there the sign blows up. Oh, look at here, look at here. We finally found one. Look at that trail right there. Comes out of this thick marshy stuff. It's just a perfect little cut where over the years they've just beat it down. They go down, meander down there, or they go up straight right there. It's actually a pretty decent buck track down there. That's what we're looking for. At least we know there's deer here. There's bucks here. Keep going. Run, piggy, run. Damn, I should have brought my bow. Ooh, that's a big one. I mean, look at them. They're just sitting here for the taking. A bunch of them. They don't care what I'm doing. Dang it. That was crazy. So I'm walking along and I find this high spot with a lot of this giant bamboo growing in it. There's a couple of oaks on it. And it's just like a little rise. It's the first one I've seen in a while. So I slid up in it. See if I can find some sign or some old beds. And sure enough, there was 15 hogs bedded up here. And I walked up within 10 feet of them before they spooked. And I just followed them. I just walked with them. The whole way. I didn't bring my bow or nothing today. Dang it. If I had somebody with me, one of us probably would have had a weapon, but dang, that was cool. I could have very easily, so easily, taken one of those hogs. But I'm not surprised that they're back in here. You see all these palmettos, this flat back in here, and how swampy it is. I'm gonna come back in here and try to kill one of those things pretty soon. Well, we got all the way back here where it narrows down, back here on the point. And the sign did pick up a little bit. I'll show you where I am on the map. But there's 3 or 4 big down trees and there's a fence line over here that knocked that fence over. So I'm trying to walk along and see if there's anything skirting that fence. And check this out. I find these all the time. Do you guys find these balloons? I guess they don't fall out of the sky anywhere but over the national forest publicly. I find these all the time. Let me know what you found out in the woods. That kind of is weird. Keep going, see if we can't find a break in this fence. So here's that big down tree. And there's a bunch of trails right here skirting this tree, going down this fence line. So another good tip is anytime you see a down fence, you can be able to take advantage of it. There's a lot of at some point, most of them will be heading to that gap. So at least it narrows your focus a little bit. Oh son, now we're getting somewhere. There's a ton of tracks right here going under the fence. Fence is all jacked up right here. It's bent up where they're going under it. Ton of tracks, a nice rub over here. Tracks are going back into the bottom. Now we're finding something late season. That's pretty cool because late season in this part is real hard to pin down, but it makes sense. There's just a big flat in here and it's a real narrow strip right in here where it's open, but there's a ton of oaks, and in this bottom there's a lot of browse and green coming up now that it's warming up. But these wetlands usually hold a browse for a lot longer than out in those pastures. So getting some progress, getting a little more excited. Uh-oh. Somebody's got company. It's a nice doe. Come on, just hang out here and watch them for a little while. Oh, here they come. Too bad it couldn't be this easy during the season. Oh, I think I got spotted. We've come up on this huge slough, and there's more down trees by this fence, but this slough is going to funnel these deer around here, right here where these two trails are. The slough is probably 100 yards long, so they're coming around this slough and funneling in on that side into those two big trails, working off over into there. That's pretty sweet right there. Boy, I was about to say, that's a big old hog right there, son. I was about to lose my mind. These cows are eating palmettos. I've never seen that. That's crazy. No idea where they came from. But they might think I have something for them and I don't, so I'm fixing to get out of here. Whoo, boy, I thought that was a hog. I'm telling you, I was about to get gone real quick, fast, and in a hurry, son. Well, it looks like I already lost my little buffer on my microphone. So it's starting to fall apart. Look at this behind me, what I'm trying to walk through. I'm scared I'm gonna get to a spot where I can't get out. Definitely have to come back in here with some taller boots or waders if you're gonna hunt. It's starting to get thin though. I feel like I'm island hopping. See if we can make it. Well, we made it back. Pretty productive. Actually saw more deer on this scout than almost I ever have. Not a ton of sign, but a lot of deer. Found a lucky feather. You know what kind of feather that is? Because I don't. Anyway, on to the next one. All right, guys, spot number 2. Actually gonna hop on the bike this time and see how far I can get. It might save me a little time, but usually I run into a roadblock at some point. Actually got me a new bike, new to me. Somebody in the neighborhood was giving away a free bike, a girl's mountain bike. But that thing's a lot better than what I had the first time, so pretty sweet, works good. Let's get back there, see what we can find. So it's on my way back to this other spot. I got to kind of a corner of the boundary and I noticed something. I saw something through the trees right next to this trail right here. Speaking of, found a scrape right here and a scrape back there on this trail. Check it out. Anyway, I'm kind of bebopping along, and can you see what that is back there? You see that? That is a high fence. You don't see those very often out here, right up against the boundary line, which is cool. Big long chain link high fence. So I figured I'd just keep walking, maybe find a hole in it. Dude, no way. Oh my God. Are you kidding me? Who said you can't find sheds in East Texas on public land, dude? That's the first one I found in a couple of years. That's crazy, and I'm sitting here filming, walking down this trail, dude. Oh, I wonder if the other one's here. Dude, check that out.
Oh my God, dude. That's like, I'm gonna hang this from the mirror of my truck or something. Oh man, it got a little nibble right there, look. No way, dude. It makes it all freaking worth it. Oh, dude, it makes the whole trip worth it. It's a nice little 8. He didn't swoop out very far. He's gonna be hard to make that 13-inch rule maybe, but maybe next year for sure. Decent time length though. God. Oh, I hit my camera. Yeah! I wasn't even gonna come down this trail, but I was riding my bike back to another spot, and there's a high fence back here bordering the line. And there was some tracks right here. I said, well, I'm gonna just walk down this thing for a minute, and I found 2 scrapes right before I come across this. 2 old scrapes. I was thinking maybe I'd find a tree down on that high fence.
Yeah.
And I walked right up on this thing. I've just found it. I'm gonna walk down here and maybe I could find the other side somewhere.
Yeah, you might find it.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh.
I didn't even know you were going out there this morning. Well, you need to be careful of them pigs too.
I know. Well, some of them were pretty big. I got a little closer than I wanted to, but if I'd have had orange on, I'd have shot one. But technically, I'm not supposed to hunt if I don't have orange on. That's crazy. Come on, thing, focus. Crazy. Yes. I finally made it out here to where I wanted to go. Keep getting distracted. This spot's looking pretty good so far. This is a little finger of woods where it pinches down within about 100 yards. And this is a little ravine that goes down through here, and there's a clear cut over there. There's actually an old wooden ladder up against the tree over there. Let's go check that out. But this is the perfect pinch. Look here, here's where Critter's been jumping over the log here. I did see a bunch of deer tracks back there. There's trails all along this, coming through this little pinch, so that's where I like to start. This would be an awesome observation sit area, so we might have to do that later at the end of the summer. An old rub right there. Let's check out this old ladder up here. Look at there. That little platform's not that old. Still got some bungee on it, some rope. Y'all think somebody's been hunting that? The trail's coming out right here. Let's check it out. Well, I think that's about all we need to see for this spot. The main point is we can ride the bike all the way up here. Access from, basically from the east. And the trails are running north and south, so we can, depending on the wind, we can play just an off wind in this little block of woods, not one side or the other, or with the west wind in your face, you could come in and be set up perfect. So I like those spots where you can come in perpendicular to the wind, because you'll get more opportunities to hunt it, because you can hunt it on a north or south wind just depending on how far you're willing to push. So there's a bunch of rubs right here on this edge line. So there's bucks back here. We gotta hop on the bike and get moving. We're running behind. So much has happened today. Gonna make pretty cool memories though. Well, that's gonna have to about do it for today, guys. We're running out of time. I don't have enough time to get back as far as I want to go on the next spot, so we'll live to scout another day. Appreciate you guys coming along with me. It couldn't have been more of a freaking awesome day. We found a shed, we stalked some hogs, got within 10 feet, we saw about 8 deer. I mean, what else could we have done today? That was my birthday scout. I couldn't get a whole lot better. So man, appreciate you guys tagging along. Thanks for watching. Don't forget, stay tuned after this so I can fill you guys in on what happened this morning. It was pretty interesting, so we get a little learning experience out of that. But other than that, hope you guys have an awesome day. Hope you guys have your best day. See you on the next one.
Okay, so we left well before daylight this morning, and I missed an exit off of a major highway. So I had to take the next exit. Ended up just in a little residential area. I had an idea on where I was, and as I pulled up to the red light, I needed to make a left turn. I was hoping to make a U-turn, but there was no U-turn lane, so I had to stop at the light. And as I approached the light, there was a man leaning up against the highway, the full side of the highway over there. And he had a hoodie on, had his hands in his pockets. I just kind of took note of him. I actually moved into the center lane so I didn't have to be right next to the highway. And I stopped a little short of the light. And as I did, he began to approach my car with both hands in his pockets. And as he kept coming my way, I was just kind of watching him for a second. And he was definitely walking straight at my car. So I put my hand up just as a stop sign and shook my head. No, don't approach me. You know, I have a rule of thumb that I go by for a long time now. Anybody I run into past about 10 o'clock at night, for whatever reason, I'm out at that time, but until dawn, doesn't have my well-being in mind. So that's pretty much the rule of thumb that I go by. And as he approached the car, I had my firearm on me at appendix carry, but it was covered up by my pullover and my seat belt and tucked inside my belt. And what it was going to take for me to get that out, and whether that would be a good idea or not, I just chose to put both my hands up and shake my head no. So that's what I did, make sure he could see me, and he kind of put his hand up. He was like, no, you know, hold on a second. But he only put one hand up. He had one hand still inside his hoodie. And as he continued to approach, you know, I'm waving both of my hands in the car, shaking my head, no, you know, stop approaching. And he got about 2 foot from the corner of my car, maybe a little further out, maybe probably 5 foot or so. And I looked up and the light was still red, but I wasn't going to stay around anymore. So I chose to drive on and make the turn. And as soon as I went to take off, he pulled a gun on me. He pulled a gun out. So I just laid over all the way in my seat as far as I could without seeing, and just drove straight. At least what I could perceive to be straight for as long as I could go before I looked up. And you know, in the moment, expecting shots to ring out. And I'm thinking this guy's fixing to shoot through my car. At least he wants to steal my car or rob me or something. But nothing ever happened. So I drove on as far as I could, but until I felt safe. And before I actually looked up, I had no idea what I was doing. Then I was able to make a turn, get back on the highway, and get on to where I was going. But it took a long time for me to calm down. You know, I had about an hour and a half trip still to go, and it took every minute of that trip to kind of ground myself again, because it wasn't a good feeling. And but you know, it just goes to show you, you know, a lot of people are afraid of the woods. Most of the time, I'm afraid of what I'm gonna run into before I get there. Nothing in the woods scares me anymore, but you know, situations like that, you know, the city scares me more than the woods does these days. So a lot of little lessons to pick out from that on how you would approach it, whether you pulled a firearm or not, whether that would have been a good idea. Probably not. He could have thought I was a threat to him, and maybe something would have transpired that, you know, otherwise got avoided. So ultimately a great outcome, because I got to go home in the end. But man, I needed the day after that, and luckily God gave me a good one, and it was a lot of fun, and I got to come home. But just wanted to share that experience, to be careful as woodsmen and outdoorsmen, and we spend a lot of time covering ground in the dark, and you got to be careful sometimes. Take care of yourself when you're on the road and you're traveling, and I just wanted to share that experience. Thanks for watching, guys. If you enjoyed the video, check out some of the other videos on the projects, the DIYs from the hunts, and We also got a 3D archery shoot coming up. It's going to be pretty cool. I'm kind of letting the hint drop on that one. And just think about subscribing, liking the video, drop me a comment below on some of the stuff that we saw here in the video today. And we'll see you on the next one.